around still who remembers Woody Guthrie, could actually say they played with Woody Guthrie, walked with Woody Guthrie, talked with Woody Guthrie, and was a friend of Woody Guthrie. And Ramblin' Jack Elliot is such a person. Right? Ramblin' Jack Elliot. Jack was saying he'd never been on the campus of USC before, and what a wonderful, beautiful campus it was, right?
It is indeed. I don't know how I missed it. I hang out at Broad Park Campus.
Well, you certainly, as I was just saying to these folks, you know, your history goes all the way back. And of the many artists on the show, I think, other than Nora Guthrie, of course, Woody's daughter, and maybe one or two folks, including Woody's first wife, Mary, who will be at the show tonight as well. But you actually had the opportunity, the privilege, to hang with Woody Guthrie, to play with him, to know him, to even live with him. How did you get to meet him?
Well, I was playing with a friend who was, I thought he was the world's greatest guitar player, a fellow named Tom Bailey. And Tom knew Woody. He'd been playing with Woody for a few years. And I had heard about Woody from an old sailor maker. I'm sorry, is that a private camera thing?
Please, no photographs, especially flash too.
I used to be a truck driver, and when I see a red light, I stop. It's as simple as that. I like to pose for photographs after the show, or on a horse in the back alley.
Well, you were saying that Woody meeting him for the first time.
Tom used to play with Woody, and I'd been listening to one of Woody's albums the first time I ever heard him. Listened to this album that a friend of mine loaned me. It was called Documentary Struggle. And it had songs on there like Hard Traveling, Talking Sailor, Union Burying Ground, and a few other very grim songs, and I was very moved by that. I was 19 years old. Been to college for 1 year at the University of Connecticut. I didn't do very well. I loved geology. It's my favorite subject, but I flunked it. Chemistry, couldn't hang it. I was going to go out for veterinary, large animal vet, because I always liked horses. But you had to have chemistry. So that was that. That was a problem. And I did a lot of sailing and on the Thames River in New London, dodging submarines, and generally having lots of great adventures that were mostly extracurricular, so that didn't help. After a year in the University of Connecticut, I went to another school. It was called Adelphi College, Garden City, Long Island. And in Adelphi College, I studied English and Spanish and drama, and learned how to fly a P-51 Mustang from one of my fellow students, who was teaching me in the back of the class, and I guess I probably flunked that subject too. Asked me any question about a P-51. Well, that was a friend of mine at the school loaned me this record, Documentary Struggle, and Tom, who played with Woody, he was getting ready to go out and visit Woody and have a jam session out at the Guthrie house in Coney Island. He lived in Coney Island on Mermaid Avenue. And I said, hey, can I come along and play with you guys? And Tom said it was a very small apartment, and there were going to be 6 guitar players and a fiddle player, and there just wasn't room for any more, and he couldn't invite me. But he gave me Woody's phone number. this gig, and he's a friendly person. He'll probably invite you. So that's how it happened.
Now, this was in the early 1950s or late 40s?
1951.
1951. So this time, Woody is beginning to show signs of Huntington's. Was he still able to play and
He played
participate?
quite well.
Still,
For the first year or so, for the year of 1951, he still played the guitar in a very inspiring way. I was really thrilled with the way he touched the strings. And of course, Arlo picked up a lot of that by osmosis, and I tried to learn it. Some of the tricks that Woody did on the guitar, I learned later when I was in Europe afterward. Because I'd say, hey, what is that you just played? Where'd you ever get something like that? He said, I got it from Lead Belly. I said, Lead Belly teach you that? No, he wouldn't teach me nothing. He just told me to watch careful and I could steal it from him. So that was his attitude. So obviously, I was invited to steal it for free, and so I tried to steal it as accurately as I could. One of those backwards thumb and three finger strums, dong, ding, dong, dong, 3, 2, 1. I never learned how to do that until the middle of a 6-year scooter trip around Europe, busking on street corners, singing in nightclubs, and freezing. A lot of rain. Wonderful.
The house parties, even as Woody begins to significantly decrease in the mid-1950s, Woody oftentimes would come home from the hospital and be there on weekends, and then Marjorie, his wife, and others would come over, Pete and others would come over and jam and have an old-fashioned style hootenanny. Woody becomes less and less a participant, more an observer, listener to that. So who carries on the tradition here? You're obviously learning his songs. Who else is there working this and celebrating his music for him?
Well, I only remember one time that there was some music played around the house physically with other people, and that was Cisco Houston, who came to visit. I'd heard him on records, never met him before. I was very thrilled, heard a lot of stories. And so Cisco shipped out with Woody and the Merchant Marine in World War II, and they got torpedoed twice by German U-boats and had to make it into the lifeboat. Always got their instruments into the lifeboat. I don't remember Pete being at the house. I know Pete visited Woody at the hospital.
Yeah.
But the first year I was with the Guthries, Woody didn't ever go in the hospital until the end of 51, so I had a whole clear year with just Woody and myself and Marjorie and the kids. And they would wake me up around 5 a.m. Marlo would wake me up by throwing dolls at me. And if that didn't work, he'd throw fire trucks. And you know, in those days, fire trucks were made out of steel. And half plastic.